Hey everybody, this is D Hunter, bringing another action figure review. Today, we're going to be looking at the McFarlane DC Multiverse, The Flash. This is The Flash from the animated Justice League Unlimited cartoon show. He made his first appearance in Superman the Animated Series, and that's specifically what this figure's from. Shout out to my boy Corey. He found this figure for me at Target. Let's go ahead and check out the packaging. As you can see at the top, 22 moving parts, McFarlane Toys, ages 12 plus, DC Multiverse, The Flash. Here he's in the package. He has 2 alternate hands, totaling 4 interchangeable hands. Looks like a Speed Force effect, display stand, and collector's card. Now it's been a while since we've got an animated figure from McFarlane. They made Superman and Batman in Series 1, and now we finally have Flash to continue to build the Justice League. Hopefully they'll continue and finish the entire team. One side of the package says The Flash from Superman the Animated Series, although he looked the same in Justice League. The other side simply says The Flash. At the bottom, got a bunch of credits, and there is a barcode, in case that helps anybody. And on the back side, here's Flash running, and here are a bunch of other new McFarlane DC Multiverse figures you should check out. So with no further ado, let's open him up. Alright, now that we got this figure out of the package, here he is with all his accessories laid out. He does come with a display stand, a collector's card, 2 alternate hands, totaling 4 interchangeable hands, and a Speed Force effect, which appears to be straight reuse from the Rebirth Flash. But before we take a look at the accessories, let's talk about and check out the actual figure. So this is the Flash, and he's technically from Superman the Animated Series, but I'm pretty sure it's 100% the same design from Justice League and Justice League Unlimited. That thin Bruce Timm animated stylized design. It's been a long time since McFarlane has made an animated figure. Series 1 they gave us Superman and Batman, Green Lantern. Finally we're getting someone to complement them. Eventually maybe they'll make the entire 7 Justice League members. So a little bit softer looking, more animated, very thin. It looks good, definitely captures that feel from the show. The lightning bolts on his head, on his chest, sculpted, not just painted. Torso, not nearly as big as Batman or Green Lantern, but still has that exaggerated design. Single jointed elbows. He's got a pair of what appears to be running hands. Double jointed knees, very thin legs, and this one appears to be very warped. He looks good. I'm happy to add to the team. Hopefully they'll give us Wonder Woman, Hawkman, the entire 7. And I mentioned his leg being warped. I'm going to heat up some water and see if I can correct that issue. And sure enough, I brought some water to a boil in a cup, dipped it in there for about a minute or so, took him out. His legs were just as they should be. And just a closer look at the Flash's face. It definitely captures a look from the Justice League animated show. He's got that semi-grin, sort of happy-go-lucky look that Flash often has. And then, here's the figure broken down as far as he can go, with all of his removable parts detached. Now let's take a look at his accessories, and let's start off with the boring stuff. Here's his display stand, typical McFarlane stand, black perfect circle, says DC at the bottom. It's got 1 peg for the peg holes on his feet, very thin, very basic. Here's his collector's card. You can see it's an image of the Flash figure running in the streets. The Flash from Superman the Animated Series. The back, there's a little description. If you want to read that, go ahead and pause now. Now let's take a look at his hands. He has a total of 4 of them, 2 of which appear to be running hands. Then he has 1 gripping hand and 1 fist. Here's Flash with his first pair of hands. His right hand is a gripping hand, his left hand is a fist. And here's his other pair of hands. These are some outstretched hands. I would describe them as running hands. These would be the main hands I use on this figure. Now let's look at his Speed Force effect. Made of transparent plastic, a bolt of lightning. It's got a peg for the peg holes in his feet. And it is 100% the same as one of the Speed Force effects that came with the Rebirth Flash. Here's the Flash running with a Speed Force effect attached. And here's Flash using the Speed Force effects from the Injustice Flash. And then with the Speed Force effects from the Snyder Cut Flash. Now that we've taken a pretty good look at both the figure and his accessories, now let's check out his height. From bottom to the top of his head, He's standing at about 6.75 inches tall, which can translate to about 17 centimeters. Now let's check out his articulation. Starting with his head here, of course, it can rotate from side to side. He can look up about that far. That'll help you if he's leaning forward in a running pose. Down about that far. Can tilt his head from one side to the other. Give him a good amount of personality. Shoulders on a ball joint. Goes out about 90 degrees. Up, down, around, all that good stuff. He's got a butterfly joint between his shoulder and chest area, just increasing the range of motion there. Bicep cut below that. Single jointed elbow. Goes in a little bit more than 90. His wrist has a ball in it. Can rotate, and it's going to be hinged as well. Ball joint in his torso, rotate around, forward and back. Another ball joint in his waist, rotate around, all it's very tight, go forward and back. Combined, give him a pretty good range of motion there. Legs, completely just splits, look like little ball joints in there. Rotation is almost non-existent. Go forward about that far, back about that much. Double jointed knees below that, they go all the way back. This ankle here has a ball in it. Goes forward and back, can rotate, can tilt and rock, and he has toe articulation. Here's Flash running through the streets of Central City. And just a closer look at Flash running down the streets. Here are the 4 members of the Justice League McFarlane has given us so far. And here they are, springing into action. And now back to Flash running through the streets of Central City. He's running faster than he ever has before. And Flash comes to a screeching halt, leaving a trail of fire from all the friction. He ran so fast that he broke through the multiverse and attracted a bunch of other Flashes next to him. They're all confused, staring at each other, and the Flashes all agree to run as fast as they can to fix the multiverse issues. And one more angle of the Speed Force is running, restoring the multiverse. Now let's check them out, next to some other action figures, starting off with some other McFarlane DC Multiverse figures. We'll start off by checking him out next to some other McFarlane Flash figures. Here he is, next to a Rebirth Flash. These McFarlane animated figures have been consistently smaller than the comic figures. And then, next to a video game Injustice Flash. And here, next to the DC Cinematic Universe movie Justice League Flash. Here are all the different Flash figures McFarlane has made so far. The next one we're aware of is going to be the Speed Force variant of the Justice League Snyder Cut Flash. And there's also a Reverse Flash in the near future. Here's this animated Flash, next to a couple of other Speed Force figures. And technically, they are actually Barry Allen. The one on the left is Red Death. That's Barry Allen's body, but Bruce Wayne had taken him over. And to the right, the gold version, that was actually after Barry Allen freed himself and was in control of his body again. So possibly, here are all the Flash figures McFarlane has made so far. Here are all 4 of the members of the Justice League that McFarlane has made from Justice League Unlimited. Batman, although he's sort of a weird hybrid between Batman the Animated Series and the new Batman Adventures, not the true Justice League version. The Flash, Superman, and Green Lantern. Which one do you guys think they'll make next? Wonder Woman, Martian Manhunter, Hawkgirl? And here are all the different animated figures and their variants. We've got the light blue Batman and the black suit Superman. Notice they all have the thin legs and the giant upper torsos. That's just the way the cartoon was stylized. Then, next to an animated cyborg from Teen Titans. Teen Titans existed in a completely different universe from Justice League Unlimited, but the figures scale up pretty decently together. I imagine Cyborg would be a little bit bigger than the Flash. Here's the Flash next to the rest of his wave. McFarlane doesn't seem to release these figures in traditional waves, but these 4 figures were found together at Target. Now let's check them out, next to a couple of recently released McFarlane DC Multiverse figures. Here he is, next to the Hazmat Batman. And here, next to the Gold Label Edition variants. Azrael in Batman Armor Silver variant, and then Unchained Superman Energized variant. Then, next to the Curse of the White Knight 2-pack, Azrael in Batman Armor, and Batman. Now let's check him out, next to some other Flash figures. Here he is, with all the McFarlane DC Multiverse Flash figures. Then, next to a Noble Toys Bendy Figure Flash. Here he is, next to my DC Direct and DC Collectibles Flash figures. Then, next to all of my Mattel Flash figures. And here are all the different 6 and 7 inch Flash figures in my collection. Here's Flash, next to a couple of Kid Flash figures. Then, next to a Mattel Reverse Flash. And here, next to both a Mattel and DC Direct Zoom figure. And although I don't have the DC Direct Justice League Unlimited Flash, here he is, next to a DC Direct Justice League Unlimited Batman, to give you a rough idea of how they'd scale next to each other. Now let's check him out, next to some action figures from different various companies, to see how he fits in, both scale and style-wise, in case you want to know which lines you can mix him with. Since he's a McFarlane figure, they're typically the 7-inch scale. I'm going to start off my comparisons with some of the larger action figure lines I collect, and work my way smaller. Here he is, with some of his McFarlane Toys brothers. In front of you are 5 different action figure lines, all from McFarlane Toys, all 7-inch scale. Then, with some more McFarlane Toys, these are from different various video game properties. And now, next to some Jakks-specific wrestling figures. And here he is, next to some DST or Diamond Select toys. Then, next to some DC Direct and DC Collectibles figures. And here, next to some NECA figures. Then, next to some Mattel wrestling figures. And now, next to some Jazzwares AEW wrestling figures. And here he is, next to some Mezco 112 collective figures. Then, next to some Mattel DC Universe Classics and Multiverse figures. And here, with some Mafex figures. Then, next to some Hasbro Marvel Legends. And here he is, next to some SH Figure Arts action figures. And finally, next to some Jazzwares Fortnite figures. Overall, he's a pretty nice figure, but something kind of odd in the way they translate this specific design to action figure format. Just seems a little too blocky, like it sort of works and sort of doesn't work. Although that group shot of the 4 figures was really nice. His accessory, nothing special, reused from previous Flash, doesn't really fit in with this guy too well. His articulation, it's good, he does need double jointed elbows. He's a little bit shorter than the rest of McFarlane DC Multiverse figures. I don't really like that the animated ones are a little bit smaller. That's just the way it is. He's a good figure, but I'm not crazy excited for him. If I were to rate him, I'm going to give him about a 6 out of 10. Can't wait to put the 7 of them together. What's it going to be, another 2 years? So this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you liked the video, press like below. If you have anything you want to say about the video, add to the comment section. If you want to see additional action figure reviews from me, press subscribe. I do appreciate when you do that. Once again, this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video, and I'll talk to you guys real soon.